Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and this is Mr. Edward. He's back yet again for another demonstration. And today I want to talk about improvised spears. As you can see, this is just a walking stick, my survival knife, and some rope. And the thing is, I want to make this video is because I heard some people say or make the claim that just a small handmade spear is not going to do shit. They claim that it will not be able to penetrate because it will be too loose, it will get off easily, and you can only do some stabbing with it. They claim that you can better take the knife and get in there very close, and you will have a better how do you say this, control over the knife. And I very much disagree with it, and that's the reason why Mr. Itron is here today, just to show you how effective even an improvised spear can be for a prepper, and also the things that you need to watch out for, and that are perhaps better in your head than in real situations. So, why would you make an improvised spear? There are numerous ways or reasons why you would have an improvised spear. And like I said before, this is just my survival knife, but it can be just anything. It can be just a kitchen knife, it can be just a pointy stick, a sharpened piece of wood that you burnt on the fire to make it to harden it. Just anything sharp put on a long stick, connected well, can be a formidable weapon. And you can do it with rope, as you can see. Many people will say, many people will say that from the moment you do some stabbing, it will get loose, and if it's inside of your opponent, aggressor, or the game that you hunt, it will get loose, stuck, and now your opponent or game is running away with your knife, and now you have nothing. But to those people, I will say, if you're going to use it for whether self-defense or for hunting in improvised situations after an airplane crash, or you're stranded or that kind of stuff, you can use it for hunting, also for hunting and for fishing, like in the river, that you can just step something on. But you can better use some fork-like implement instead of one knife. So where was I? Oh yeah, I was going to make the point. If you're going to connect it, it is just not a stick where you just roll around some rope, a knot, and you have a spear. You have to get a little bit more technical than that, just with something very simple inside of this how do you say this staff. I just made a small hole where I could get one through and put it around the knife, and now it's very firm in place. I'll show you in a minute in a real stabbing on this bale of hay. But that's something that you can do, or you can just carve some notches and use those notches as resistance to that it will not just flew out of your knots. So that's the first thing. And if you use something like duct tape for improvisation, you can just put it around. Yeah, then you have enough friction that it will not get loose. But whether you use duct tape, cloth, or rope, it will never be the same as a crafted spear like you see from the medieval time. This is just talking about improvised spears. So as you can see, there will be some wiggle room around here, whether it's on the side. It will be off center. That's another point that you will have with improvised spears. It will, if you have to put it in the build it in the center of the staff, it will take too much time, and it's not improvised anymore, in my opinion. That is just something that you can say, oh, there's an active shooter in the building. I'm in the kitchen. I just have some duct tape, so rope, a broomstick, and a kitchen knife, and you make an improvised weapon. And many people, like I said before, they would say, why don't you just take the knife and you have better control? Well, there are several reasons for that that I will show you now. And yeah, we're going to use Mr. Edward as an example for this. Imagine Mr. Edward has a knife or whatever. That's something that you don't want to have if you're just going to use the knife to get in close, because you're in distance that he also has a knife or a weapon, or even just his fist, because it doesn't matter if somebody wants trying to kill you, even if he doesn't have a weapon, as long as he has the will, he can fuck you up, and you don't want that. Even if you think, oh, he doesn't have a weapon, why should I? No, he can fuck you up with his bare hands if he has the will and even the training and knowledge for that. So even then, even if I only have a knife, I don't want to get in reach that he might grab it, take it out of me, because he perhaps has been more trained, or he has more willpower, or he just so much on drugs and high that he will not feel pain from the first stabbing, or does not have fear, and that can do a lot of things to you. You don't want to get close. So in that case, a spear is always better. If you're going to use a spear, there are several ways that you can effectively use it. I would say in the first place, psychological. If you have somebody who is not under drugs or in a rage, they are usually more, how do you say this, more susceptible or more rational. So if you see somebody with a pointy stick aiming at you from a distance, you will not go close to that guy. You will say, oh, I will not come closer, or at least it will slow them down till professional help can arrive. But first part is psychologically. That means, oh shit, this guy is a serious business, because if I only had a kitchen knife, for example, and I would, doesn't matter who you are, you would think, he just took a kitchen knife, perhaps he doesn't, he's just scared, I can take him because I have more willpower than the victim. But if you improvise a spear, that means during the process of making the spear, I mentally make myself ready. I've built a weapon, I'm planning to use the weapon, and I'm not afraid of it, because you made something a little bit more complicated than just having a knife. And for an opponent, whether they are an aggressor or whatever their problem is, they will think twice. They will think, is it worth it now? This guy really means business. It's not just a scared secretary who took a kitchen knife for defending herself. No, this means business. So, what is the advantage of a spear? That is obvious. You have distance. As you can see, Mr. Edward is built on the average person. So as you can see, I have more reach. He cannot reach me. Many people will say, but what if he can just take the spear out of your hands? Well, there are several techniques for that. If you want just to keep him at bay, this is especially handy in closed corridors or hallways, because there is not much room to dance around your defenses. You are in a room, it's like the Spartans, 300 Spartans. If you are in a small corridor, you have a smaller window to defend, and he has to go through the danger zone to get to you. So that's the first part. And even if they try to grab your spear and try to take it off you or bring you out of balance, there are several techniques that you can use to directly counter it. So yeah, I'm not going to keep him on this, but imagine that he tries to grab the spear, don't do this, try to get the spear, hold of it, and try to pull you off balance or push it out of the way so he can get in. It's just like bayonet training in the army. You can just do something with the other side of the spear, and that's also the reason why I prefer a shorter spear. If it's a very longer spear, yeah, you can have more distance, but the moment they get in front of it, they can get it in, and you don't have that much defense, and you can also not. It's also not that handy for counter-attacking. So a spear the size of this walking stick is actually perfect. I would say a spear till nipple height is very handy weapon. So, like I said, and when you have a short spear and he's trying to grab it, you can, because it's a short spear, you can retreat and step and step in and counter attack yet again. Oh, he's trying to grab it. Oh! Or you can, if he gets close, get in there, or you can just try to, especially if it's a knife and not just a pointy point, not just a sharp point, you can use it to graze the hands that are trying to grab it. If he's trying to grab it, that's his most, that's the weapon that he's going to use. So if you have something like a knife on a stick like this, you can try to cut the wrist or the fingers. The moment you are cut or on your wrist or your fingers, you will have so much less chance to do damage, especially as an aggressor. And there are many other places you can do this, but first of all, you want to keep them at a distance. Try to have a stance that you're in balance. Don't try to overhaul because they can pull you in or they can throw you off balance. Always make sure that you're in a balance. Your legs are wider and your legs are in a stance that you still have some wiggle room. Don't just have straight legs because that's more difficult to move around. You must be able to have some wiggle room to go up, side, and still keeping balance no matter what the opponent is trying to do. Always balance is very important. It's something that many people don't really think about, that never handled such melee weapons like this. Another thing you can do is if you're going to step, some people see from a distance just do this stuff. You have more distance that way, but your arms, they are just stretched out, so they are easier to pull you out of balance, and it's harder to retreat your spear in case they do a counterattack. So you just have to use it from not the stomach, but from your center mass of the body. That's the place that you're going to stab, and you can directly retreat. And it is faster than somebody could try to grab it. Then you can. So that's also a benefit of a spear of this size. Alright, another thing, you can, which point should you stab? If you're going to use stabbing motions, if they have a weapon, you can, even if they have a weapon, for sticking, I would always advise go for the center mass of the body. Why? Because the center mass of the body, that's where the organs are, and that is the biggest target to hit. So many people would say, try to stab to the face, and they are out. You can do that, but humans, they can move. They go, oh, get back, and that's a little bit more tricky. That is much harder to avoid. So if you're going to step, try to step beneath the plexus, which is this part where the bones of the ribs get around. Under that, there are the organs, and you can step. And trust me, if you get stepped here, yeah, you will not just go like rage mode. You will be in shock because that's a very deadly wound, painful wound, and yeah, it is. You can do it repeatedly, step, and even if they try to attack you, you could have stepped them multiple times. So what I also don't like is when people say stab him in the neck. Yeah, in the movies it's great because you stab them in the neck, they start to bleeding out. But like I said before, the face and the neck, they are a very small target to hit, especially because the target is not standing still. He's moving around, he's trying to find a gap in your defense, he's trying to get over you, he's trying to outmaneuver you, he's not standing still. That's why, just like with guns, try to aim for center mass. And yeah, but what if they wear clothing or body armor or whatever? A spear is much harder to get through those things. So there are other things you can do. For example, like I said, if they have a weapon, you can try to cut, actually do a cutting motion, especially if you have a knife on your stick, onto their wrist, because that's the most dangerous part. Usually they are right-handed, so if you're going to do a cutting motion, try to do a rolling motion with your shoulder if you're going to do that. See it as like cutting a steak. You just don't chop. Well, because many people would say just chop, but before you do that, you make yourself more open. They see you where you're going to strike. It's harder to control if you're in your swinging motion. So I would say try to do stabbing motions to keep them at bay, and then do the cutting motion like cutting a steak. It's if you can see, it's like rolling with the shoulder while you're trying to find a point of opening to stab them, to keep them at bay, and then attack. Try to do the cutting motion on the wrist. Many people would say go for the neck, but if you're going to bleed out, that could take a minute, and it's also a little bit higher to do that. If you want to incapacitate your opponent, aggressor or whatever, go for either the wrist, the hands, or try to go for, I don't know if you see it, the knees, the joints, the legs, because the moment you cut on the upper leg, that's a good place to do the cutting motion, because there is the artery, the big artery here. He will bleed out very quickly. Or incapacitate them by going for the knee. It's like almost trying to place your knife onto the place, because there is now the danger that you can go in front, but the moment you can cut something like the knee, because a lot of pants, they don't have that much big protection at the knees, because the knees, they need to move, so there cannot be too much armor or protection around this place with modern pants. Modern pants, we're not fighting a knight in armor, by the way, that you can just do a cut, and that will make them more difficult, and they can incapacitate or immobilize them. So that's another important thing of this. If you're going to step, like I said before, keep your balance, because you can either do multiple stabbing motions, like and retreat. But if you really want to fuck him up, so to say, you can step and try to put your body weight in front to really get inside him. And because you do this, because he's going to struggle, he's not just going to stand there and take it, he will try to get in, and the more he moves, the more you move, it will get really messy inside of it, because it will be like a meat grinder. If you step into somebody, especially with the organs, and especially with arteries and blood vessels, that you try to keep him under control. It's not just a quick step, it's just and put your body weight and your muscles into it. So those are things that you can do with an improvised spear. And for the people who say that, but the spear is not that effective, I'm gonna show you on this, how do you say this bale of hay. Let's see if I can find the right place to do this. So we got a bale of hay over here, and we will see how effective this could be. This is just regular hay. I know this is not a person, but if I'm going to show you another test, because some people say, oh, but if you're wearing clothing or thicker clothing, or if it's an animal with thick hide, you cannot get through with a spear. I did a test a moment ago. I will not do it again because I only wanted to make one hole. I got through the knife with a knife very easily with the spear through this layer of it's not a deer, it's, how you say it in England, like a moose kind of animal with a very thick hide, and that could get through it. So for the test of the spear, just a quick step. See, I got all the way through it. The knife is still attached, even though it's kind of wobbly after using this much times. And you can also set, like I said before, if you're going to step, keep pushing through. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it well. These were just from thought the camera was out. These were just from smaller steps, and this is really opened up because I put my body weight inside of it. So another thing, like I said before, you can do your cutting motions with a knife like this, and we're going to do a cutting motion like this. Imagine it is like shoulder, leg, hand, the top here. Show it, and you do. It's almost like you're putting your knife on top of it, and do the cutting motion and pull it back. I don't know if you can see it well. It is a very rigid part. So these are very surface cuts, and that's also the reason why it's not that usable for if it's too much padding, clothing or whatever, but it's more like the open things like the knees, wrist, hands, fingers, and if you're going to do a chopping motion over the whole part. So, as you can see, this is now a full cut here with a cutting motion. So this was just a small test. I know that it's not like the real big thing or martial arts training. There are much more people who are more professional inside of this, have more training technique, and that is to show you I'm just an idiot with a homemade spear, and this can give you so much of a great advantages. I only have experience with some martial arts like Iaido or Yodo, and this is just also from experience and fooling around, so to say, and experimenting and training on myself. So imagine if you train for this multiple times a week, perhaps a month, how proficient you will get with just the simple things. And if the need arises, you can just build this stuff yourself and use it in a correct way. And yeah, this is just something I wanted to show you. I know it might seem like an amateur, but it's to show you that anyone can do this with just a little bit know-how, willpower, and a little bit knowledge of how things work from martial arts to where the human body works. And yeah, just a small fun thing to do. And yeah, I would say if you got any other remarks about this, please let me know in the comments. Perhaps there are more ideas you can do. For example, if it's an idea like putting on this side perhaps a flashlight so you can use it as a self-defense in the dark. Perhaps that's an idea for a next video, or perhaps I already done it, I don't know. But give me such ideas and I will try them out to see if it will be tactical or useful in a real survival scenario, and I will test it out. So please let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn new things or to try out new things. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and see you in the next video. Cheers!